Well, good morning, Melissa.
Hello.
I'm Tim Gordon.
Hi, Tim.
I had an opportunity to see this film for the second time last
Second
night.
time.
I saw it at the premiere at
You
Sundance back in
did?
2015
Oh,
when it was the
wow.
opening night film.
Oh, wow.
And I was wondering, so my first question before we talk about this long kind of period that the film, talk a little bit about what the reception initially when it premiered and why it took so long for it to come to market.
Oh, well, we were so excited to open the festival at Sundance, and it was a dream come true to be there and hear the laughter with that audience. It was really one of the first times that we got to see it with an audience, so that was a dream come true. And then it sold to Relativity at the festival, and then Sony, who financed the movie, ended up getting the distribution rights back, and so now Sony Classics is releasing it, and we're really excited that it's coming to theaters in a couple weeks.
Now, watching it again a second time, I noticed from what I've read about you and seen about you, that character that you play, Hope Gregory, is so vastly different from you. So what was the inspiration when you and your husband sat down to create this story?
It originally came out of an idea that we had when we were talking about celebrity in a small town. I come from a small town in New Jersey, and my husband and I were at the local mall after I had just a little bit of success on TV. I was working on a VH1 talking head show, and I went back to the mall, and the manager at Wetzel's Pretzels gave me a free pretzel. And I was so excited. We both savored that pretzel. I think it was the best tasting thing that we ever had. And then a few months later, the show was canceled, and I went back to the mall, and the manager pretended like he didn't know me and didn't give me a free pretzel, and we were both so upset, and I was out of work and feeling really bad about my career, and I didn't get a free pretzel, and it kind of highlighted where I was in life, and we started talking about what that can do to your psyche, because celebrity is so different from the actual doing of what you love to do, of the craft of acting. They're two different things, and when you kind of muddy them together, it can really mess with your brain. So we started talking about what that would be like on a larger scale, and then we also really liked the idea of, we were huge gymnastics and Olympics fans, and we always found it fascinating that when we were watching any sport, whenever they talk about the bronze medal, they always say, they'll have to settle for the bronze. It's like, that is still amazing. That is an amazing accomplishment, but they always make it seem like, it's the bronze. So that was something that interested us, and then we were talking about what sport I could play, and I'm 4'10" and a half, almost 4'11", so we thought I wasn't going to play a WNBA player, so we decided to set it in the world of gymnastics.
Now, the character that you play, Hope Gregory, is really, I mean, she's spoiled, she's kind of self-centered, she's kind of in her own universe. How much was it fun, a fun departure for you to play like this element or this person who maybe on some days you didn't even like?
It's so fun. It was so fun. I'm really so nothing like her that there was things that I found when I was playing her that I really enjoyed. I'm a bit of a people pleaser, so the fact that she doesn't give an F, see, I won't even say the full word. Hope would say it. She would say 20 of them. What people think, there was something very freeing in that. And the accent kind of stayed with me from after we were shooting. It took me years to lose my Jersey accent, and then so that sometimes seeps through, and then sometimes the Hope accent comes out as well, and sometimes it just mushes together. I sound like a weird pirate.
One of the other things that I found really interesting about the film, and I want to find out, was it intentional? Did you guys want to go and make this character like really, really raunchy, like the humor in it, and some of the scenes, without giving it away, are really like pushing the envelope? Was that an attraction to you as well, or was that something that you and your husband, when you were developing this, you guys were kind of sliding that level of humor in it?
Initially, when we set out to write it, we didn't say to each other, okay, we're gonna make this a hard R. It started. Everything really started from the story. We knew that she was stuck and that she was rebelling against this past of hers that she no longer can take part in because of her injury. So really, like, the profanity, we didn't really want to make it profanity for profanity's sake. Her language is symbolic of everything that she she has gone through. So she was told to act a certain way, look a certain way, speak a certain way, and once this was all ripped away from her because of her injury, she now wants to eat whatever the hell she wants, and she wants to, now that she's not up for any endorsements, she could say whatever she wants. So so that really was the seed that informed everything else. And then we, you know, the sex stuff was really her trying to just find that pleasure again. She's been cut off from the pleasure that is closest to her heart, which is her sport. So now she's just trying to find anything that will make her feel that good. And if that happens to be some gymnastic sex, then that's what it is.
Now, it felt like when I was watching it last night, a couple of things. You guys actually did go in and re-edit some aspects of the story, because I remember the ending, it was a little different than what I remembered initially.
Yeah, good memory, yeah.
Okay.
So we did. The ending that's now in there was in the original script, but we weren't able to include it in the Sundance cut, and then so we reworked that and put it in, and we're really happy about that. We really feel like it completes her arc more.
I agree.
And we cut off about 10-15 minutes of the film. We put in a couple other little moments, some that were in the original script, and we just tightened things up here and there, and we really feel, and we also changed the order of the opening as well, which we feel shows a little bit more of where she came from and what she had to go through, so that you follow her on that journey, and we're really excited about this cut.
So we now, for the last, 15, almost 20 years now, have lived in this kind of reality TV sort of environment. And the film feels a little like, it almost was like watching a reality show with Hope's life. Were there any influences as you guys were kind of creating the story of thinking about that element of like we peeking in, not just on her life, but this journey that she has to go through?
That's a really good question. We knew that we didn't want this to be like a shiny comedy, like a shiny gymnastics comedy. We wanted it to be gritty and real, and because what Hope's going through is gritty and real. So we kept saying when we were looking for a director for this, that we wanted it shot like a drama. That was really important to us. And when we met with Brian Buckley, our amazing director, first of all, when we got his submission that he wanted to do this, and we watched his short film, it was an Oscar-nominated short film called Assad, and it's absolutely incredible. And we watched it, and we were like, this guy wants to do our movie? That's incredible. And then, much less he's this award-winning commercial director for numerous Super Bowl commercials, so the way he shoots things is just beautiful. And he sat down with us, and the first thing out of his mouth was, I want to shoot this like a drama. I want it to look like The Fighter. And it's what he did, and that was we're so fortunate that we got him on board, so that it has that look that we wanted. And our cinematographer, also Scott Henderson, was just incredible.
It feels like there's a spin-off film in this story of what's the young lady's name who was the gold medal winner that she coaches?
Yes, Haley Lou Richardson, who plays Maggie Townsend.
Yeah, I think we need Maggie's story, like the Maggie of now after she's hooked up with Mr. Tucker.
Yeah, I think that Haley Lou is so fantastic, and that girl has such a huge career ahead of her. I would absolutely love to write something for her to continue that character. And she was just such a find. She's a competitive dancer who transitioned into acting, so she was able to do so many of her own stunts, and we had a body double for some of her stuff, but the floor routine she did was all her, and she's just a beautiful, beautiful performer and a phenomenal actress.
So, as a takeaway for folks who watch it, and I know people always ask you the takeaway question, but the arc that she goes through with her journey, the things that her and her father go through, his journey of watching his daughter, do you think she's likable toward at the end? I mean, is her journey, after her journey is complete, I mean, do we still like her? Did she get it?
I don't know. I mean, I think with something that was important to us is we didn't want to put a perfect bow on it. Right. I think in an hour and a half for someone to have a complete turnaround when it takes years for people to go through therapy to maybe move this much, We wanted that to be authentic and real, and I think there is a lesson learned, and I think that I think we've all been in places in our life when we feel stuck and feel like maybe that's it for us, and I think there's a good message of there's always tomorrow. I mean, she's definitely not Little Orphan Annie. That's for sure. Maybe Little Orphan fucking Annie in her words, but can I say that? I'm sorry.
No, you can.
But yeah, I think there is definitely no pun intended, but I think there's a message of hope there, and I hope people see that.
So your next effort out, are you going to do something that's closer to who you are, or are you going to go out and try to continue to push the boundaries?
Oh, I'm kind of boring, so I think I'd like to take on another role that's also different for myself and in another way. It's part of the fun of this job, and my husband and I love writing together, and I love creating these characters for myself. So I hope so, or yeah, I'm open to anything at this point.
I was going to say, is it easier for you to create your own roles, and much like you've done with this film, as opposed to waiting around for quote unquote the perfect role or something that fits?
I mean, there's I am an avid reader, and I love reading scripts, and there's roles out there that I would love to play that I haven't written, and different writers' voices that I would love to be able to bring to life. I think I started writing for myself years ago, when I've been writing since I was a kid, but really I started doing it professionally when I was waiting around for that opportunity. And as an actor, it could be really hard when you're just waiting to do what you love. Similarly to Hope, in that, she was cut off from what she loves to do, and that could cause sadness. And there was times when I felt really sad that I wasn't getting the opportunity to do that, and so I started doing stand-up in New York, because that made me feel like, all right, I could perform every night if I want to. And we wrote a play my husband and I wrote a play for myself in New York years ago, and that's really what got me out of writing tables. So it's kind of always been my way out. I've always thought, okay, I could write my way out of this situation, even if it was writing a play that went up in the back of a laundromat. At least I felt like, okay, this is why I'm still doing this. This is why I'm going through the grind. I at least it reminded me of what I loved about this job.
All right, well, listen, thank you. The film, as you said, opens on March 11th. Well, actually, not
March
as you
18th,
said.
actually.
Oh, it's March 18th
March
now.
18th, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad I said that. March 18th.
March 18th.
The Bronze opens. Thank you. Enjoyed the film. Enjoyed talking to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you for watching it twice.
Not a problem.